Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I thought I'd give you a little FaceTime since usually you just see my hands. Today I am sharing a project with you that I hope in my mind makes you a motivated creator. My idea is that you see something that I create and then it inspires you or motivates you to create. And if it does, here's what I want you to do. I want you to share on your preferred social media, #motivatedcreator, and share that with the world so people can see it. Then if you want to be entered into a drawing where you can win a little prize pack from me, then I want you to go over to my page, Linda Israel, on Facebook. The link will be in the description box below. And I want you to share what you've made there. I may even go as far as creating, I think I'll create an event. That's what I'll do. I'll create an event and you can post in that event that you are interested in being a motivated creator. And so here is your project that you've completed because you were motivated by one of my posts. So make sure you check that out. Stay to the end so you see the whole tutorial that I'm sharing today, and let's come along and we're going to make a tag. Let's get started on the project today. Today I'm going to work on a Christmas tag. It's part of a swap that I'm doing with a couple of ladies in my Facebook group. And I've got a few things here. For example, this is some extra wide ribbon that I got after Christmas at, I think it was Michael's. It was on clearance for like 70% off. I don't even know if it has the price on here. It doesn't. I don't see it. But that was something that I thought was kind of fun and I thought would make great Christmas card stuff. I've also got a image from Calico Collage. It's from one of the Christmas collections, and I will have a link in the description box to this file so that you can download it yourself from Calico Collage. I've got a 4x6 piece of ivory cardstock from Canvas Corp Brands that I'm going to use as my base to make my tag, and then I have a few other supplies. The first thing I'm going to do is with this little tag, I want it to have the tag shape, and I don't have a tag punch, so I have found that if I put this on a 1-inch grid and make a little mark across the corner, then take my scissors and cut across that diagonally, save this piece and flip it over to the other side of my tag, and then cut this side off using that as a guide, then I have a tag shape. And I save these. I've shared this in other videos. I have a little stamp that I can stamp on top of that little triangle and it becomes a great little element in my project. So I've just popped these into my little Ziploc bag and I have it laying here in case I want to make some more. Alright, so I've got a tag shape and I've got this ribbon, and I think I want to put the ribbon on top of this tag. So the next thing I'm going to do is just basically trim this to fit my tag base. So I'm just going to get my scissors out here and go across here and cut it out. It has a mind of its own. You know, you could use a piece of lace, you could use a dryer sheet that you have colored, so don't think that just because I'm using this sparkly stuff that you can't make your own. I want you to think about what I've done and then look at the supplies you have on hand and see how you can recreate your version of this tag. You know, copying is great, but see if you can look at your own supplies and make your own version. Alright, so now I'm just trimming off the excess where the corners are, and then I've made this the same size as the tag base. I want to attach these together. I know I'm going to go to the sewing machine, but to help keep this together, right about where the middle is, I'm using the No Clog writing cap on Scrap Perfect's The Best Glue Ever, and I'm just making a little bit of a squiggly line kind of around the tag because I don't need a lot of glue, I just want to hold it in place. Now if you don't have a sewing machine, you will want to be very careful and apply the glue all over so that this sticks together. So I'm just going in here and making sure that I press this down, and then we'll set this aside to dry for a moment. I'm going to take the card that I printed from Calico Collage. This is printed on cardstock, so I don't need to back it with another piece of paper to make it thicker. But I am going to use the Distress ink, and I'm going to go around the edge, kind of giving it a little bit more of a vintage look. I have a little scrap of green cardstock. Again, this is just stuff that I had in my stash. It was already about an inch, and I think it's about 2¼ inches. And the reason why I did that is I had this washi tape that says Merry Christmas on it, and I figured out how big of a piece I need. I'm just going to trim one of these word phrases off from the main thing, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of this piece of paper, making sure I got it on there pretty much straight. I'm just going to add just a touch of distressed ink, not a lot, to the edge, but I've got that on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 pieces to my sewing machine, and I'm going to add a zigzag stitch around the edges on all 3 of these pieces, and then I'll be right back. I've added some stitches to all of the pieces, and I'm just checking to see. I feel a little bit of stickiness on here, so I know that some of the next steps I want to do, I don't want this to be all sticky, so I'm using the Perfect Crafting Pouch by Scrap Perfect. It has a little bit of a powder inside of it, and so I'm just going to place it on top of my tag, and then I'll tap off the excess, kind of wipe it away. And what that'll do is anywhere that glue didn't have something to adhere to, we'll get that powder put on it, and then it won't be sticky anymore. Well, I know that I want to make this into a pocket on the front of my card, and I know that this is our tag, and it's going to be a tag shape at the top. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down, but I'm going to leave one side open because I found a little piece of paper that I thought would be a cute little tag to put within the tag. So we're going to adhere this on 3 sides. So I'm just going to use some Aleene's Tacky Glue because I want this to stick, and sometimes I have to use a whole lot of the other glue in order for it to go through all this texture, and I'm impatient for it to dry. Alright, so I've got a little bit of glue on here. I'm going to center it up on my tag base and place that down, and then I've got my crocodile hole punch. I'm going to use the larger hole, and we're going to punch a hole in here. And I'm going to tie my little piece of scrap of fabric on the top. I'm going to take this little Merry Christmas, and we're going to use some 3D foam tape or dimensional dots. There's different types out there. I'll have a link to some that I use. I buy them when I find them on sale, or if I go to like a scrapbook convention and they have a deal where you can buy a whole bunch of them, I'll do that. And I'm trying to use them up because I have so many. And I kind of stopped using them for a while because I wasn't making as many greeting cards. By the way, I do have a ton of videos that are greeting cards, so go back and look at those, and then look how you can, or think about how you can turn that into a tag, or how you can make it a focal point or cover to a junk journal. So, you know, just because you see those tutorials, don't pass them by. Take a look at them because there's usually something really cool in there that you can learn. So I'm going to place this somewhat down here on the bottom, and it's going to be raised up on the page, so it's kind of sticking out there. And the next thing I want to do is I want to add some elements to the center here. So I'm going to use the Scrap Perfect glue again. I'm going to put a little dollop of glue in the center of these poinsettias. And I've got a little scrap of paper here because I have these little tiny micro beads. This one just happens to be from Martha Stewart, some that I had a long time ago and got them when they were on sale at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I'm sure. So what I'm going to do is I've got this little piece of paper so that I can pick up any strays that try to float away. So I'm just going to sprinkle these on top of these little dollops of glue. And then I'll take the tag, I'll try to hold this piece of paper so I don't get a mess, and tap off the excess. Then I'm going to set this aside for a moment and put away the extra beads. I try to save as much as possible. You spend all this money on them, you don't want to just waste them. Alright, got my mess cleaned up. So next I want to add some Tulip dimensional fabric paint. This is a clear glitter. So I'm going to go in here and add a little bit to the flowers, kind of highlighting some of it. And to me, when I do this, it reminds me of a little bit of those vintage greeting cards that you saw with a little bit of glitter on them. And that's why I like doing it. So I'm just going to add a little bit here and there on this little tag. And then I have some of these little paper poinsettias that I got last year around Christmas time. Looks like you got, let's see, 12 of them. They were $2.99, and I know I didn't pay full price for those. I probably got them when they were on 60% off because that's what I do. And I think I want to place these here and there on the card. So let's see, let's get a little bit of some tacky glue. So I'm just going to put a little dollop of tacky glue on the back side, and then we're going to strategically place these. One here. Let's put one down there. So you're getting a little bit of the flat and then 3D effects. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I want some glitter on these poinsettias. So I'm going to go in and just kind of add a little bit on the flower itself, and then that'll have a little sparkle. Alright, I'll let this dry and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like with the glitter paint all dried.